Good afternoon, Africa. Good afternoon, African Confessions. I am back with another episode. So, I received an email yesterday, and the email was titled Fake Pastor Part 2. Okay, I went to bed and I slept, but I was tired and my mind was alarmed and it was shaken. Everything that had happened to me had shaken me straight to the core. I had witnessed a lot of things that I had never imagined. I had never imagined that any of these famous pastors that we see on TV and all of them that I respected so much were fake. Everything was fake. Even now, when I look at the world, I just feel as if everything is just fake. What is real in this world? That is why King Solomon said, all is vanity. Yes, everything is just vanity. You see people driving nice cars, you see rich people, but when you get close and if they let you into their secret, that is when you realize that everything is just fake. There is nothing that is real in this world. So, from that previous night, I had learnt that we had the power to see those who are a part of us, all the people who are in the devil's camp, people like witches, fake pastors, celebrities, people who have sold their souls to the devil just for riches. By just looking at them, you could see that this one works for us. He is on the same team with us. Then they are the children of God who worship in truth and faithfulness. You can just see them also because they have a star on their forehead. Christians do not realize the power that they have and do not see how God has labeled his own children. Back to my story. As I woke up, I noticed that I was wearing a ring, but the ring was not the one that I had been given whilst I was in South Africa, particularly in Cape Town. This was another ring. It was a different ring. I will send you the picture of that ring so that you can insert that picture in the video. I had dreamt of me getting married to a very beautiful woman, but she stayed in the sea. Yes, the woman that I kept on dreaming about, she was staying in the sea. And each and every time that she would visit me and her, we would end up having sexual intercourse. But all of this didn't happen whilst I was in the physical state, but it happened every time when I was in the spiritual state. And each and every time when I would wake up, for sure I would be naked and I had slept with my clothes. And on the wedding that I had in my dream, she had given me a beautiful ring. And that's how I woke up with a new ring on my finger. And that one that I had gotten whilst I was in Cape Town, that ring was next to my pillow. But after a few days, even though I had placed that ring that I had gotten whilst I was in Cape Town, when I tried to look for that ring in the drawer where I had placed it, it was no longer there. That ring had just vanished. Up until today, I don't know if that ring returned back to South Africa or what happened to that ring. I truly don't know. Things were happening so fast in my life, and that woman, whenever she visited me whilst I was in my spiritual state, she would promise me everything that I'll ever want. She said that she can give me the entire world. She told me that everything that is in this world is for sale. You just mention the price and it will be given unto me, and it will be given unto you. She called my name and told me that I was no longer in a position to marry any woman, but if I lusted after any woman, I could use any woman that I wanted, but I should make sure that I will never fall in love with that woman that I was using just for these rituals. I realized that I had played with the devil herself, and you couldn't stop thinking of that beautiful woman. Yes, indeed, she was just a beautiful devil. Sunday came and we went to church for the first time. And in my life, as I was walking into church, I felt a sudden rush of power. Amazing power was rushing through my body. I was filled with everlasting power. that I have never witnessed in my life. I was told to never arrive in church when the saints were praying, because those who were truthful would then overpower me. That is what I used to do. Each and every Sunday, I'll make up an excuse why I was late. Most of the times, I'll wait until praise and worship was done, then I'll arrive in church. And whenever I would arrive into church, it was as if people would be worshiping me. Everyone would rise out of their seats. Some of them would even kneel down as I would be walking straight to the pulpit. And the moment that I would walk into church, everything will stop. The music, the praise and worship, the praying, everyone will just stop, and they will wait for me until I am at the pulpit. Then I will tell everyone to stand up if they were kneeling, and everyone to sit down. Then I'll start to preach. Yes, I will preach. The only thing that I ever loved preaching about whilst I was in church was money, 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 and money. Nothing else. You are going to get rich today. That was my every Sunday sermon. That hand with a ring, if I touched any member of my church, and if they were not strong in their faith, they would fall. That Sunday, like the first Sunday that I went to church wearing that ring, which that woman in my dream had given unto me, was an eventful Sunday. Those who were possessed started to do more drama, because the demon in me was more powerful than the demons that were in them. People didn't even realize that this was just a drama. They were just watching a movie. Everything was being done for the cameras. The next Sunday and the next Sunday, I started giving money to journalists so that they can come to my church. I made sure that almost each and every Monday morning, my face will be on the front of the local newspaper. I wanted my name to be popular. On this other particular Sunday, I called the name of that woman, and I would call her, and people would be like, "Pastor is now speaking in tongues." Yet I was calling out the name of that woman that stayed in the sea. That woman, whenever I called her, then I would feel like my body was now in another state, and women would roll on the floor and cry as if they were serpents. Some would even vomit, and I went to stop them and to pretend to be their savior. But all of this was just for the camera, nothing else. One thing that I want you to know is that these people who are followers of such pastors will never ask any questions, because their brains are already brainwashed. And yes, they gave me money. They kept on giving me money, thinking that and believing, yes, indeed, they believed that the moment that they gave me money, it was like a seed that they had given unto God. And I promised them that one day their children or their children's children were going to enjoy the fruits of this seed that they had given unto me. In a short period of time, I was jetting around the world in private jets. I was living the best life. I had all the women that I wanted. I would choose women among the races. Today, if I say I wanted a Chinese woman, I would just order a Chinese woman. Next day, if I wanted a woman from South America, I would just contact my friends who were in Southern America. Then they would just put that woman on the private jet straight to Africa. Yes, I was living the best life. As I'll be leaving church, a lot of members will be shocked on how powerful I had become. And in a few weeks, I was all over the news, and people started to follow my church, and my church was growing in an amazing way. And it's all because people love miracles. Human beings love miracles. It is like a magnet. I don't know if it is in our DNA to go after miracles, but there is something about us human beings, even me, with all the things that I know. Sometimes if I see a fake pastor performing a fake miracle, I am still fascinated. Sometimes I still believe in those fake miracles. Then in the end, I'll just say, oh, it is all fake. I don't know, maybe there is something wrong with us human beings that just attract us to these fake miracles. People don't love God. People just love drama. And where there is drama, there is going to be a huge crowd. And where there is a huge crowd of people that are in poverty, they are going to give you all of their money that they would have gotten through hard work. People just think that God is a God of drama. If I shout, God is here in the building today. Back in my days, if I would shout that God is here in the building right now, take out your wallets, come here and throw your seed in this basket, you will be amazed how people will be jumping out of their seats, thinking that God will be there standing in front of them, making a record of how much money they would have thrown into the basket. I have heard stories of people seeding all of the money that they were supposed to send their kids to university straight into my church, expecting a miracle. But I knew that if a miracle did happen, it was not a miracle that happened by the power of God, but by another dark power. Yes, I know that the Bible says, seek ye the kingdom of heaven, but people love drama. They don't want heaven. My brother, I can tell you a lot of stories. Now I started sleeping with a lot of women, as this was an agreement that I had with that woman who stays in the sea that I had married in my sleep. Sleeping with women is a way of worship. Yes, people do not know that the moment that you enter into the bedroom and you are busy having sexual intercourse, it is like a ritual that you'll be performing, holy or unholy. Still, it is a ritual, and all that I had to do was to collect all the fluids that were produced, and I was to keep the clothes that I used to wipe these women. These mothers at church would give me their girls since I was single. And you know how women encourage girls to go and help at the pastor's house, thinking that maybe they might be lucky enough and I'll end up marrying one of their daughters. No, but I was just using these women. What they didn't know was that I would lure those girls into bed, and in no time I'll be done and never want to hear anything about her again. That is why you hear about these sex scandals that happen in these churches. My appetite for sex had increased, and in a day I could sleep with 5 to 10 women, and the strength that I had was like an endless pool. A week after doing this, that woman would come and would be very happy with the work that I would have done for her, because all those fluids that I would have collected whenever I would be wiping these women after having sexual intercourse with them, they would go straight to a ritual. I had girls pregnant, and all those girls who had been made pregnant by me would lose the baby through an abortion or maybe through a miscarriage. The reason why I had to do this, I had to maintain my powers, like the powers that I was using to heal people. I had to constantly do these rituals. That is why I ended up impregnating a lot of women. Some of them were married women, yet I still impregnated them. Every Sunday before I went to preach, I must be intoxicated with wine, and after church, I had to go and do that ritual again. I had to stay drunk most of the time. I don't know why, but this is what that woman suggested. She told me that whenever you are performing these miracles, make sure that you are always intoxicated, but not that kind of an intoxication whereby you cannot walk or people can notice that you have been drinking alcohol. You just have to drink a little bit of alcohol so that when the alcohol is in your blood, and when you are standing in front of the church, it will be a blasphemy unto God. In that way, I can connect with your body easily. So the blasphemy that I was doing each and every Sunday, that is how that woman would connect with my body so easily. Oh, dear listeners, that was the end of the email. Not sure if our brother is going to come back with the rest of the story. Oh, dear brother, if you are still listening, I beg you to write to me again so that I can post your story. People are not afraid. What if you are standing in front of the congregation, then thunder strikes you down? Are people not afraid? Things that people can do for money is quite strange. Dear listeners, let us meet again in the following episode.